Hi everybody, welcome to Cracked Lacquer Nail Studio. I'll be doing acrylic and gel designs with 3D and even 4D sculpting and of course bling. I will also be sharing some tips for growing beautiful, healthy, natural nails and how to deal with nail product allergies. There will be affiliate links for the products I use in the description box below. Please like and subscribe, and please hit the bell if you want to be notified of future videos. In this video, I'm going to be making a 3D acrylic white rose, and I'm going to encapsulate that. But before I encapsulate it, I'm going to cover it with a translucent purple gel. So I usually like to build my own tips, but this time I'm going to just use a already made nail tip. And I'm going to use this beautiful translucent purple to put over my acrylic rose. So I've buffed the nail tip. It really helps the gel stay on. Otherwise it starts kind of peeling or rippling or whatever you might call it. It could, even if you cure it, it could still lift on the sides. So it's just better to have that buffed and then cleaned off. I just usually use alcohol and a lint-free wipe. This is just one coat. I'm going to be adding two, so I will be curing this, and there's the two coats. It's still, as you can see, pretty translucent. I love this gel. It's very pretty. So I'm just going to take a small bead to start my rose. I'm going to put it right in the middle of where I plan to have the rose. And so I'll be doing that with every bead. You just put it right in the center, and then you press it and pull it as the acrylic cures. So you just use the belly of your brush, make sure it's dry, and you press down gently but firmly, and you pull the edges, the outer edges out as you're pushing down. You can shape the petal any way you want to, it doesn't matter. Put it out as far as you want to on each side. However you want to do it is fine. I like to bleed the beads out. I don't always do that, but it helps a lot to make sure it doesn't run after you get it on. Or you could put the bead down and let it polymerize a little bit, and you'll know it's polymerized when it starts to have that dull matte look and it's not so shiny. Okay, there's one rose. I'm going to do the middle bead, the center. You can put a gem in there. That's actually very pretty. I just chose not to in this case. I'm going to have enough gems. When I'm done, I'm going to add some gems to the whole thing. So I just put a little dot in there, let it polymerize or bleed it out, whichever, or both. Whatever you feel. If you get it too dry, it's going to crumble when you go to drag out the acrylic, so I don't like it to be too dry. And if that's the case, it's too dry, just take it off and do another one. Okay, there's my rose. I think I'll add maybe another rose down below it, and probably a couple petals too. So this one's just going to be a small rose, just to add a little more to the nail so it's not so plain. All right. I left the nail in the matte form after you wipe off the gel residue. I didn't put any top coat, shiny top coat on there because I am going to cover it with the purple and then I'm going to encapsulate it in acrylic. But if you're just doing a rose on top of the gel, you can put a clear coat on and then maybe buff the areas just in the center of where you're going to apply your acrylic or 3D work. So I'm going to take this beautiful translucent purple, and I love how this turns out when I'm done. I just started just putting it on anywhere. I wiped, there was some excess because gel has its way of pooling in areas, so I just took some of the excess off, left some on for the detail and depth of the rose. It just helps bring that 3D out. And now it's ready for encapsulating in clear acrylic. Wiped off that gel residue. So I start with a very thin consistency of the acrylic to get it in the cracks and crevices to make sure there's no bubbles. If you start out really thick because of all the edges and the any kind of shapes or textures that you have, it's easy to get bubbles in there. So I just make sure that I can push the acrylic in and under where I need to. And then after I'm done with all these little areas where I just need to tuck it in there, you can make the acrylic thicker and a little drier. Make sure you wipe underneath the nail, especially if you have translucent. You really just don't want that to show, and you just don't want it underneath there anyway, so just make sure you don't get any underneath. If you do, take it off immediately. Now it's ready. I buffed it. Now it's ready for the top coat. There it is. Beautiful. So I have some crushed light purple, kind of a really pretty lavender crushed shells. And I have some other little gems, some purples and some like a peridot color green. And I'll be just kind of putting those wherever. So I'm going to put, I cured the first top coat. I'm going to put another one on all over, just because I don't really have a plan on where I'm going to be putting all the crushed shells or the gems. So I'm just going to coat the whole thing. Just makes it easier. Plus, if I was just maybe putting 1 or 2 gems on in a specific area, you still have to put the top coat on kind of lightly, or the clear coat lightly, just so you don't make it look like there's a bunch of glue on it, I guess. So I got that all done, make sure it's all covered. Now I'm gonna put my crushed shells on first. Just random, anywhere I feel like I want them. Just grab a bunch on your little grabber tool. And you can move these around anywhere you want to. take them off if you change your mind, whatever. Anything you want before you cure it. So you can totally have a plan and a design in mind, and then you might change your mind afterwards and realize maybe you don't even want any bling on it. It's totally up to you. Before I cure it, I am going to make sure it's where I want them and how I want them, how many I want. I think that looks good. Checking everything out. Okay. And there you are. I am going to be doing a full tutorial on making roses and some other flowers in the near future, so I hope you stay tuned for those videos, and thank you so very much for watching.